Okay, here is my top 10 scary places of Pennsylvania, which just gives you the Transylvania in the name, because I guess with all these haunted places, it's America's Transylvania, although without a Dracula, I guess. But this top 10 list is part of my series talking about scary places in all 50 states of America, and every scary places at least needs to have a haunted place. Although some on this list I put up for having the creepy appearance and history, so that counts too. But yeah, that's the basic point of this list. If there's a place not here on the Pennsylvania list that you deem deserves to be mentioned, please tell me in the comments. But anyhow, here's your top 10 scary places in Pennsylvania. Number 1. Gettysburg Battlefield. Gettysburg. Now, there's no way you can't talk about the scary places in Pennsylvania or any other state in New England, the Middle, and South Atlantic regions without talking about the locations of the major wars, in this case, the Civil War. The Gettysburg Battlefield is one of the Civil War battlegrounds where the Battle of Gettysburg took place, so it's no doubt with what we know makes a haunted location, one being like bloodshed and tragedy and death, who makes sense for it to be haunted by soldiers who fought in that war and can be seen roaming the grounds at night as it goes for any ghost story because it has to be that night. There are also other scary locations in the area of the battlefield, which include the Devil's Den, a bordered covered hill used as basically to protect soldiers from enemy fire like a natural fortress, and then there is the Slaughter Pen too. Also, a random topic, my dad took some dirt from the battlefield, or was it just Gettysburg in general? I can't remember. But don't worry, I don't got any hauntings in my house, but yeah, we basically have a jar of dirt of Gettysburg. So that's our jar of dirt, if you get my joke. Number 2, Jenny Wade House. Gettysburg. The Jenny Wade House is a location in the Battle of Gettysburg, which comes with a tragic story because of the death of an innocent bystander that was Jenny Wade. She was in the house along with her family members while the battle was going on, and coming close to the house, which is one of those split houses. One was for her family side since the house belonged to her sister, and the other side was her sister's neighbors. And as the story goes, Jenny got up early to make breakfast when the first day of the Gettysburg battle erupted that occurred on July 3rd, 1863. Stationed behind two doors, the kitchen and parlor, but it was not enough to stop a stray bullet from an unknown Confederate sharpshooter, which hit Jenny Wade and caused her death. Two Union soldiers helped her family and carried her body out of the house to the basement of the neighbor's side of the house. People say the house is haunted by Jenny's ghost, including the ghost that's said to be her father, who ironically is connected to another location on this list coming up next. Ghost Adventures has visited the location in the Gettysburg episode, and I can't forget when the ghost grabs Zach's butt. Also, there are rumors of her being pregnant at the time of her death, but those are rumors, and I only heard it from the GA episode, so it's unknown if that's even true or not. But I'll mention it anyway. Number 3, Eastern State Penitentiary, Philadelphia. One of the scariest prisons in America, Eastern State Penitentiary in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, which operated as a prison from 1829 to 1971, notorious people like gangster Al Capone and bank robber William Stanton were held in this prison. It's the largest and most expensive public structure in the United States to be erected, and a lot of inmates suffered at the prison from suicide, madness, disease, murder, and torture. So it's definitely haunted, as it is, to say the least. As from what I said in the Jenny Wade entry, her father is said to have been held here since he had a mental condition, and it was common in the day for people with mental illness to be locked up in prisons along with dangerous criminals. The hauntings at the prison include ghost faces, echoing voices, shadow figures, footsteps, whispers, wails, etc. A ghost story at the prison which involves Al Capone, which when he was held at the prison after the St. Valentine's Day massacre, Al Capone was said to be tormented by the ghost of James Clark, one of the victims of the massacre, and Capone, who yelled out, "Jimmy, leave me alone," and he didn't stop doing this until he was released from prison, and his ghost is also a notable part of Eastern State Penitentiary's hauntings. Number 4. Old Jail Museum, Thorpe. The Old Jail Museum in Thorpe, Pennsylvania, was built around the 1870s. Was once known as Mouse Chunk. It resembles a fortress. There are 72 rooms and 27 cells, since the museum was once the jail, hence the name Old Jail. The site is best known for imprisoning 7 members of the Molly Maguires, which was a secret union of Irish coal miners. On June 21st, 1877, the members were all hanged at the same time on the gallows that were on the site. This place is haunted as it said one of the ghost stories that has to do with the Molly Maguires. One of the members left a handprint before his death which proclaims his innocence. And this handprint is always seen never to be able to be removed, even when the wall is washed, painted, or plastered, it's still visible. Number 5. Penn's Cave and Wildlife Park, Central County. The Penn's Cave and Wildlife Park is America's only all-water cavern and farm nature wildlife park, and it has a lot of history alongside its activities. There is a story in folklore about a Seneca Indian maiden named Nina who fell in love with a French soldier named Malachi Boyer, and like all love stories, they were forbidden to marry. So what do? They run away, of course. However, unfortunately, they get caught and captured, and Malachi was said to be thrown into Penn's Cave to die. Number 6. Hillview Manor, Newcastle. Hillview Manor definitely has that haunting on Hill House vibe within its name. Located in Newcastle, Pennsylvania, the manor is reported to have ghosts. People hear voices and footsteps and see a lot of apparitions, and also patients that peeked out of their rooms, as the manor once operated as a home for the mentally ill and elderly from 1926 to 2004. Number 7. Centralia, Columbia County. Centralia is a near ghost town in Pennsylvania, Columbia County. Over 1,000 people used to live in the town, but now, as of 2020, only 5 to 4 people still live there. Why is that? Because under the town, there is a coal fire which is still burning to this day and started in 1962, and this caused the town to become very dangerous. People literally called this Pennsylvania's Silent Hill. Also that when the Silent Hill film movie was in production, the screenwriter Roger Avery had researched about Centralia for the movie. A lot of people were forced to move because of the coal fire by the government, but there are people who still live here. The highway which leads to Centralia is called Graffiti Highway because it's covered in graffiti, although I don't know if the graffiti has since been cleared. Number 8. Harrisburg State Hospital, Harrisburg. The Harrisburg State Hospital, known formally from 1851 to 1937 as Pennsylvania State Lunatic Hospital, located in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, the hospital provided care for mentally ill people. This hospital is now abandoned as of 2006 when it closed, but it's now used as a general office space by a variety of state agencies. For the hauntings of the hospital, there is said to be violent poltergeist activity. There are screams, strange sounds, shadows, apparitions, and footsteps. The most haunted place is the morgue, which is no surprise, I have to say. Although with the basement and tunnels, an exam room within the morgue is said sometimes that blood-like stains on the floor appear out of nowhere. Number 9. Scranton Lace Factory, Scranton. The Scranton Lace Factory was established in 1890 in Scranton, Pennsylvania. Like the name, it manufactures textiles. Due to risky investments, the factory was closed in 2002. I couldn't really find anything else about this place, but since it's abandoned, and like all abandoned buildings over the years, it became disprepared. That gives it a good reason to be on this list. Also, it wouldn't be surprising if anyone died here during these years of operation. Number 10. Somberfield, Somerset County. Somberfield was a town in Pennsylvania. It became the town in 1818 and existed for 100 years until the 1940s, when the Youghiogheny Dam was built. The town was abandoned to make way for water to move in all that was Somberfield to become a reservoir. All that seems to remain of the town is the bridge, and some sidewalks would show up too. But this only happens when the water recedes from time to time. The town can be found when you ride down Route 40 when crossing the Yawk Reservoir and heading towards Maryland. And that is the top 10 scary places of Pennsylvania. Now I may have skipped some other very haunted places that are more way famous to what I've said on this list. So if I did, you're allowed to tell me, but this includes my list for Pennsylvania. And I'll see you next time in my other videos and my next scary places in the United States, which we are going to be talking about New Jersey. So yeah, see you next time.